What up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Santa Cruz Medicinals Radio coming at you live. It's been a beautiful week. I'm sort of back into my routine lately over the last week or two, which has been really nice. A lot of travel and stuff like that, and certain things it'll throw you off your routine a little bit. But I'm just stoked to be back into my routine, and I've been lifting a lot more because of that. When I'm in a good routine, I like to lift 4 days per week, and then other days I'll go to jujitsu. Maybe I'll go mountain bike. I've been surfing a lot lately because the waves have been getting better. So trying to balance cardio and lifting is interesting. I'll tell you about some strategies with that and how you can sort of pack on muscle. But it's been really good to be back into that routine. We launched our digestive enzymes, the pre-feast enzymes, and you probably see me do some content about those. Digestive enzymes are something that I've been taking for a while, and look, there's so many scams out there with all this gut health stuff. So many companies just want to sell you a probiotic. A probiotic's going to fix all your issues. But when we really delved into the research and talked with functional medicine doctors, probiotics sometimes can do more harm than good. A lot of these strains can be histamine producing in the gut. And if you have an unhealthy gut and maybe a low acidic environment, so you're actually just developing some bad cultures in your gut, and then you add in more probiotics, well, that's going to cause even more gut dysbiosis. So I can't in good conscience sell a probiotic. There's also another issue with probiotics. Even if you find a good one that works well with your gut, is the shipping and the actual how they get to you. They need to be refrigerated for those strains of probiotics to stay alive. So there's just a lot of the probiotic industry, honestly, guys, is a scam. You're better off getting your probiotics through food, through fermented vegetables, through stuff like yogurt, through fermented cultured foods is a really good way to go. The digestive enzymes, I've been taking enzymes for a long time. Basically, your body produces digestive enzymes. As soon as you start masticating food in your mouth, your salivary enzymes get to work and start releasing enzymes. Your body and brain are sensing what you are eating, and your mouth is basically masticating that food, and your body's going, okay, this is what's in there. They start releasing enzymes. The food moves down into your gut, and then your actual gut and your pancreas start releasing other enzymes as well. So there's different types of enzymes. There's stuff like pepsin that helps digest protein, amylase, which can help break down carbs and sugar, enzymes like phytase, which is going to help break down phytic acid, lactase, which is going to help digest lactose. So when I first got into enzymes, it was that dairy thing I did. What do I mean by that? I used to think that I didn't tolerate dairy that well. So I did this kind of multi-week strategy of having small amounts of dairy while I was taking a lactase enzyme. And that helped my body start to break down that lactose. And then I eventually just weaned off that lactase enzyme. I still take some because it's in our enzyme formula now. But that allowed me to integrate dairy back in. So I was like, wow, enzymes are amazing, dude. And then you look at the research showing that enzyme production can start to decrease as you age. Alcohol use can decrease enzyme production. Stress can decrease enzyme production. That's really the big thing. What I want to tell you right now, don't buy my supplement until you start this. Taking a few deep breaths before every meal. You need to get into rest and digest state for your body to secrete enzymes. However, there are going to be certain just stressors from travel, from work. I sometimes am eating in a rush, bro. I'm so busy, you know what I mean? Getting so much stuff done. I'm sitting down, I'm okay, I have to do this thing on my computer and I have to eat. That's not going to really be optimal for enzyme secretion for the human body. So I'll take 2 of these. I like to take 1 of them before each meal, 2 before a big meal. When I'm traveling, I'm taking 2 before every meal. This isn't a product that you really would need unless you have slight gut issues or you're trying to improve your gut barrier function. So they're absolutely amazing and they're in stock right now. The other product that's been flying, I've talked about before, is this right here, the beef tallow, beeswax, and honey. And we're just scaling up production there. It's still selling out a little bit here and there, but when it's in stock, it's flying. We're never going to raise the price of this. We have the best product. It's not cut with coconut oil. It's not cut with olive oil like so many other companies. Dude, people are scamming you out there, bro. People are selling you beef tallow for $39 for a little jar. People are doing whip tallow. Whip tallow is tallow and air. I don't have anything against whip tallow actually at all, but if we were to do a whip tallow, it would be a 10 or 12 buck jar if it was this big. You just got to really be aware as beef tallow grows in popularity, people will jump into that market and sell you stuff that's cut, that's, overpriced. So you just got to be careful about that. And there's even scam products of this, which you might have seen out there, which look like ours, but it's not ours. So just be careful with that. But yeah, beef tallow can help your skin, and it's been really proven now. It's been really cool to see, man. Look, this is something I've been talking about for how long, guys? What, 5, 6, 7 years? And now it's really coming around. It's a huge trend, and all these companies are jumping in and making beef tallow, products. I think that's cool, bro. At the end of the day, I've been saying this, but now it's coming around. Speaking of that, there was another legendary interview Andrew Huberman did about just microplastics and other toxins, and now it's official news that, parabens and microplastics and these things that are in our environment are really bad. Again, I've been telling you. So if you listen to Santa Cruz Medicinals, you're going to be ahead of the curve because I'm not just relying on some PubMed double-blind placebo-controlled study. I am talking to actual doctors that are in the field. Dr. Connealy, who we had in here, cancer researcher. She is just ahead of everybody, and she's seeing patients. She's seeing stuff that works. I'm doing a content piece. It's probably already out by the time you're watching this on red light therapy. There are things that many people won't know about, and they might not avoid, they might not use. But I'm going to tell you about this stuff early because I'm experimenting on myself. I'm talking to the functional medicine doctors that are on the cutting edge. So I got you guys. I got you guys 100%. The one thing I do want to talk about with the red light is that I've been experimenting with it for a while. Red light does work, okay? Now, red light isn't some magic tool where you can just heal everything with red light, but I do think if you can afford a small red light device, you should get one. Now, when did we used to get red light? We get red light from the sun when it's rising, when it's setting, but we also would get red light through a fire. Homo sapiens have been gathering around a fire forever. We only recently stopped doing that. And that's why if you still do that, you go camping, whenever you have a fire pit in your backyard, it feels very good. It feels very soothing. Part of that is from the red light. It's been shown to help your eye health. It's been shown to help your skin health. It's been shown to help with mitochondrial function, so actually energy production in your body. Red light is for real, and it's not some fad that's going to go away. What is a fad is these fake-ass devices that come around, and it's just like a red light bulb. That's not going to get you that near infrared and actual red light that you want. An actual red light device, you just got to look at the piece of content that I did on it. It's a big thing, bro. You know what? I'm just going to grab it right now. Bro, this is a real red light device, okay? This emits near infrared and red light. So this thing is big, bro. This is a Kala red light. I think, do I have a code in them? I think I have a code to them. Code Santa Cruz, I think. Whatever. I don't even, I'm not trying to make money on selling red lights, bro. I'm just telling you guys it works, and you need to get a real one if you want to try red light. But it absolutely is amazing. Red light timing, as far as when I do red light, I like to do it in the evening, as red light typically is emitted from the sun during those sunset hours. I go watch the actual sunset. That's the best thing you can do, bro. You don't need to get this device. Go watch the sunset. But if you want to take it to the next level, you can get one of these devices, and it might benefit you. While I'm filming this right now, the election's going on and stuff. I think it's really important a couple things on the election, bro. First of all, I'm a huge fan of how RFK and Trump are talking about health of this country. They're talking about getting fluoride out of the water. They're talking about actual pesticides in food, increasing the regulations that we have on these additives that are put into our food. I think that's amazing, and I have not heard the other side discuss that at all. That's just clear. Do I think Trump is the best person ever? He's he's God? No, not at all. But I do see one side talking about health. I see another side not talking about health. What I care about, guys, is health. That is what I'm an expert in. I'm not an expert in politics, okay? So I'm not going to get crazy political on this page, I think you can guess who I'm voting for, okay? You know what I mean? Out of what I just said. But I don't really think it's so important that I see people damage relationships in their own household over this stuff. I see people not talking to their brothers and sisters and mom and dad and grandma over this, bro. You really need to start to reevaluate how this stuff affects you in your life. Most people watching this need to worry about getting healthier, making more money, and having more gratitude and happiness in their life. If you're watching this right now on a computer, on an iPhone, you are so lucky just to even be here. And a lot of this stuff, bro, isn't going to really affect your life. Since Obama was in office, I decided to grind on my health, on my work, on my happiness. And, Trump gets elected. Cool. Okay. What? It doesn't affect me, bro. Of course, there are political things that can affect you. I understand all that, guys. I'm not saying that, this stuff can never affect you, but is it worth ruining your relationships over, or worrying about so much, spending so much time on this, worrying about that you're going to become less healthy and less successful in life? Think about it, dude. Oh, the tax. Oh, okay, cool. Go make a bunch of money, dude. Who cares? Okay, you're going to get some more taxed if this person wins. Okay. You're worried about stuff that, the wrong thing. A lot of people are worried about the wrong thing, and I think this election cycle has clearly shown that. You have people who are 550 pounds worried about who the next president's going to be. Bro, you might not survive the next 40 years. Seriously. I'm dead serious, bro. That is what you're worried about? Come on. So I hope, whoever gets in office, removes the fluoride from our water, removes some of these harmful pesticides from our food supply, makes beef tallow the prevalent oil again in fast food. Cool. Like all that would be great. We'll see how it actually pans out. That stuff is difficult to get done. But I want to get to your questions now. You've left some questions below. Let's dive into them right now. Brendan, why do you avoid seed oils when people say they lower risk of heart disease and cholesterol? What's so bad about seed oils? I want to clarify some stuff about seed oils right now. First of all, I'm not somebody who constantly avoids seed oils, like I never eat them. Dude, I go out to eat at restaurants and I'll eat some seed oils. I'm not going to be the guy sitting there going, hey, can you cook my food without seed oils? I'm not just not that guy, okay? Why I choose to avoid them at home is for a few reasons. Number one, your omega-3 to omega-6 ratio. It's my belief, because I studied anthropology, that we have had an omega-3 to omega-6 ratio, and it has usually been like 4-to-1 or 1-to-1, and only very recently have we massively shifted this ratio. That's not to say that omega-6 oils are bad. I am just saying having an entirely skewed ratio of 1-to-20 omega-3 to omega-6 might be bad for our health, and there are studies to support that. Next, there are different types of seed oils. If you were talking about using a cold pressed canola oil that you keep in an amber glass jar and it's organic and you're pouring a little bit on your food at home, okay, that is one thing. What is really being used when we refer to seed oils is old, reused, oxidized soybean oil, canola oil that's in a fryer basket at a restaurant. It's in a giant plastic jug. These are heavily processed oils. They are filled with microplastics. They have deodorizing agents. They are not good for your health, especially when they're being reused over and over again. So I am not a fan of those. Third, when I eat them, I get headaches and skin issues. And I am not the only person to say that. Thousands and thousands of people have come forward saying that their skin issues, their headaches, and various health issues have lessened since they stopped eating seed oils. Now, you could gaslight all those people and just say, oh, there's a paper showing that you're wrong and that you should have seed oils. Go ahead, do that. Like, good luck with that. Personally, I like using beef tallow. I like using grass-fed butter. I like using ghee. I like using olive oil. I like using avocado oil. Now, as far as cholesterol and heart disease and all that, there is evidence that eating seed oils instead of, the oils that I just listed is going to lower your cholesterol. I do not think getting low cholesterol is the singular goal of human health. It's become this thing of you want the lowest cholesterol you can. You might want to get on statins at a young age just to lower your cholesterol. I don't think in 10 to 15 years we will see that as the truth. Okay? So, if you're worried about that, you could go with olive oil. Okay, olive oil doesn't have as much saturated fat as beef tallow or coconut oil or butter. So I would go with olive oil, which is made from a fruit, which if you get high quality olive oil is barely processed at all. They stick something in a bunch of olives and they pull out the oil. Okay, so there's no deodorizing agents. There's no bleach. It's not, it's not going to oxidize. The polyphenol content of the olive oil is higher. So those are the oils that I choose to use. I'm not a fan of seed oils because how they make me feel. And then we can get into some of the stuff by like Dr. Tetsumori Yamashima, where he is saying that reheating seed oils over and over again and consuming them leads to Alzheimer's and death of neurons in your brain. Okay? We could look at the UC Riverside paper showing that mice given seed oils had reduced oxytocin levels, which is your love hormone. You can do whatever you want, man. If you're like eating seed oils and you legit feel great, like you see these doctors out there, they're like, I eat seed oils, my blood works good. Go for it, bro. You feel great eating soybean oil. That's cool. Like, I really don't have an issue with that. I just want people to feel good. And the thousands of people who have eliminated seed oils and felt better, I think that's a good thing. Brendan, are you ever going to release gum? There's no really good options for, non-processed gums. There's tons of artificial ingredients in there. Blue One, artificial sweeteners. It's crazy. So I don't have any plans to release gum. There's a couple of versions that I've messed with and I like. One is just plain mastic gum. There's so many companies doing this. Greco Gum, Modern Primal Provisions. No affiliation with those, but like they make Greco gum or mastic gum is what it's called. It actually comes from the tree sap from this tree in Greece. And it's these little like brick gum things that can actually help your jaw. And mastic gum is an amazing supplement for your gut. You can look at the PubMed papers on mastic gum, helping with oral microbiome, helping with your actual gut microbiome. We talked to the functional medicine doctors. They use mastic gum protocols to reduce H. pylori, which is a bad bacteria in your gut. I'm a huge fan of mastic gum. I have some in my car, and after I leave, whatever, the gym or whatever it is, I'll pop some of that in. I'll be chewing on that. The whole conditioning of the jaw thing is interesting. I do think Our bodies are conditioned to chew harder foods to develop that jaw structure. Like you see me, I got a beautiful jaw. Maybe it's the mastic gum, maybe it's the steak, but I don't think it's going to massively change your jaw structure, by chewing mastic gum. But I think it can be good for your oral microbiome and for your teeth health. Now, people want like that flavor sometimes with their gum, and mastic gum is going to be really hard to do that. I was actually thinking, I'm like, why doesn't somebody make a mastic gum that's like kind of soaked in peppermint oil for a bit? I don't know if that would like mess with the, actual gum and just make it like a bad texture. So some people really don't like the mastic gum. They're like, it tastes horrible. It's weird. It is a different product. I'll tell you that. There's also xylitol-based gums. Xylitol is from the American birch tree. Okay, so xylitol. Don't let your dog get xylitol. By the way, xylitol is like super poisonous to dogs. So like, I actually used to have these xylitol mints, and my girl was like, "Can you just like get another type of mint because I'm worried about churro like having one of these. He would probably die if he had one." So be careful with that. But xylitol based gums can carry that flavor in them. If you look for a very simple one, there are simple ones out there, which is xylitol, maybe a few other ingredients, no artificial sweeteners. I don't really know of any like right now, but you can find those like at Whole Foods. So I would go xylitol or mastic gum. Let me know what you think about that below. Brendan, why don't you release unflavored, unsweetened electrolytes? Well, I got you, buddy. We are going to launch electrolyte capsules that have no flavor whatsoever. They don't have any flavor. They don't have any stevia. They don't have any citric acid. It's just electrolytes in a capsule. So we are going to launch those soon. We're still working on them and manufacturing them, but those will come out soon. So for the people that don't want any type of flavor whatsoever, any sweetener, nothing, those electrolyte capsules will be your best friend. And they're going to be the same price, same serving as our electrolytes, which, by the way, is better than Liquid IV, is better than LMNT, is better than Ultima, is better than so many of these things out there. So we're going to have those. I'm hoping for, it could be late December for those, honestly, but by Christmas, hoping to have those out. Brendan, any tips for getting sunlight during the winter? So as these winter months approach, people talk about seasonal depression. Oh, you're probably just vitamin D deficient, bro. You need vitamin D, okay? Vitamin D is one of the most important compounds you can take. People are aiming, like doctors and stuff, want to not call it a vitamin anymore and call it a hormone because of how powerful it is in the body. It's essential for your skin health. It's essential for your brain health. It's essential for your bone health. You need to have optimal vitamin D levels. If it is so cloudy that you cannot get total body sun exposure for like 30 minutes per day in a swimsuit, yes, that's really what it takes to up your vitamin D levels, then you should take some vitamin D. We sell vitamin D made it with organic olive oil. Okay, so you take one of these, so many of these vitamin D brands, go check them. Soybean oil, corn oil. Why would you want to supplement with that? I don't understand. We have organic olive oil. It's packaged in glass. This is a 2-month supply if you take 5,000 IUs per day, and it's like 14 or 15 bucks depending on the sale we're running. So those are absolutely amazing. You should be taking probably one of those per day in the winter. I started taking these October 1st, and I will take them all the way through March or April, depending on how much sun is going to come out in California in March or April. That's what I do, and I have done, and my vitamin D levels are great. If you still can get sun in the winter, I don't know where you're at, man, maybe Miami or some shit, then yeah, go get in the sun, get in a swimsuit and go get it. But it sounds like you're having trouble doing that. A red light device, as I talked about earlier in this podcast, is absolutely amazing to throw into your routine. And also, blue light is not this evil thing that's going to always harm you. Huberman recommends some blue light in the morning. So literally, these lights that I have in front of me right now, later in the day, this would cook my circadian rhythm, but earlier in the day, it's actually not a bad thing. So you can get something called a sunlight, like a, sun lamp, whatever, and you can use those in the morning. And it's going to be an artificial light, but it's going to be bright. If you combine that with timing of your vitamin D dosage and you still get outside, even if it's cloudy, you're going to really be able to set your circadian rhythm. Then nighttime comes around, you start taking some ashwagandha, you start taking some deep sleep caps, you start to relax your body. Then you do some red light in the evening or afternoon. Now your circadian rhythm is getting some of those inputs that it would get from a normal watching the sunrise, watching the sunset, and going to sleep. Try that out. Brendan, any advice for good sunscreens that are non-toxic to my skin? So when we look at the traditional chemical-based sunscreens that are actually only been around since the 1970s, we see some really harmful compounds start to enter the United States of America. And man, it's no mistake that skin cancer and other cancers have started to skyrocket as we see oxybenzone, avobenzone, octocrylene enter the United States supply and the world supply of sunscreen. We also see some of the reefs and fish die off because so many people are getting into the water with this toxic paste on them, bro. It's disgusting. We look at studies showing when avobenzone reacts with chlorine, it creates chloroform. What do you think people are doing after they put this stuff on their skin? They're getting into a chlorinated pool. It's gross. And you know what? I'm going to bet this right here. This will live, on the internet forever. I bet these compounds will be banned in 20 years. I bet they won't be allowed to be used. And you're like, well, Brendan, what does that mean? All sunscreens are going to be banned? No, there's a whole other class of sunscreens called mineral-based sunscreens. This is what people have actually used for longer. And they're made with non-nano zinc oxide. As you see right here, this is beef tallow and non-nano zinc oxide. Why does that work? Because non-nano zinc oxide provides a physical barrier from the sun. Sun hits it and reflects off. These chemical-based sunscreens, those chemicals are actually absorbing that UV radiation and dispersing it in your body. So it's not good. You want to get something that is non-toxic and isn't going to harm your health. Brendan, I have acid reflux. What should I do? I don't want to take the traditional PPIs. What do I do? So you got to go talk to your doctor and all that. I'm just going to tell you a funny story about acid reflux. So Dr. Justin was here and we were talking about enzymes and acid reflux. And he was like, dude, I have a patient that came to me with acid reflux, and he put him on betaine HCl with pepsin, which are two powerful enzymes, and a traditional enzyme just like ours, like a broad spectrum enzyme. And he was like, his acid reflux was gone within a month, and the dude could not thank him enough because it was such an issue that he was like, I can't even say it on here. The dude was borderline like wanting to off himself because like every time he ate, he would get severe acid reflux. The traditional, things were not working for him. Now, he was so like baffled by this because how would taking like something that's going to increase the acidity in your body help? Well, if your acidity is so low in your body, then when your food hits your gut and your body is just not able to digest that, you can get that indigestion, that acid reflux. So there's, if you want to just look it up on your own, you can look up betaine HCl and pepsin, acid reflux. Dude, it's kind of frustrating that so many people out there are just going to their doctors today. I'm sure thousands of people went with acid reflux and they don't know what betaine HCl and pepsin are. They don't know what digestive enzymes are. Very frustrating. But yeah, look into that and maybe that's something that you'd want to do. Brendan, what should I be using on my skin for eczema? I'm currently using CeraVe. Well, here's the deal, dude. I could tell you, beef tallow is going to help you this. It stems from your gut. You need to do what's called a leaky gut protocol or an autoimmune paleo diet and really start to realize what is flaring up that eczema. Your body's trying to tell you something when you have eczema, and you're going to continue to get marketed all these products that are going to be a cure for your eczema, when the reality is how you will end up getting rid of your eczema probably entails a multi-month-long gut protocol. So you can do something simple like starting to wake up in the morning and you're like, drinking L-glutamine water and bone broth, and you're not eating foods like, processed sugar and wheat and all these things, and you're kind of doing like an elimination diet, and you're starting to include more nourishing meals, some grass-fed beef, some vegetables, slow-cooked meals, stuff like that. And then while you're doing that, you're starting to add in stuff like N-acetylcysteine, quercetin, maybe some digestive enzymes, some vitamin D. You're getting good sleep, so maybe you're taking your ashwagandha and sleep caps in the evening with some magnesium, and you're starting to do that. You're starting to sauna. Maybe you try that, and that's like going to work. If that doesn't work for you, I'd probably go to a functional medicine doctor and do some actual GI map testing, an organic acids test. Maybe you're living with mold in your environment. That's how you're actually like going to fix your eczema. So like you can try the next product. Oh, the ocean healed my eczema. You see that brand out there marketing crazy. Like even beef tallow, bro. Like, yes, this can really help your eczema, but I would want to find out like, why are you getting eczema? Okay. Can beef tallow help acne? Absolutely. But you should know why you're getting the acne. So yeah, man, it's a deeper path than that. Brendan, I'm trying to form a persuasive speech for my college class on why you should quit soda for 30 days. What can you tell people? Listen, if you are drinking soda, you are consuming multiple pounds of processed sugar per month. So people think of it as their innocent can of soda, but all these people I've talked to in the grocery store say, yeah, I drink one a day. One a day is 2 to 3 pounds, I think we calculated, depending on what brand of soda you're drinking. This is horrible. This is absolutely insane. They have shown that high fructose corn syrup consumption can rewire your gut microbiome in a negative way. Okay, so I'm doing a content piece on that, and there's a study on this. They had one group eat fruit and get fructose from fruit, and one group eat the high fructose corn syrup. They saw a decrease in these firmicutes, they're called, which are beneficial bacteria in the gut with that high fructose corn syrup group. And this was a short study. You can imagine what would happen with just like that lifestyle drinking soda. Also, some soda's caffeinated. You're drinking that in the afternoon. You're messing with your sleep. There's caramel color in there. There's sodium benzoate as a preservative. You're also getting microplastics because you're probably drinking this out of a plastic, thing. You're also contributing to these companies that are some of the worst offenders of ocean pollution ever in recorded history, making 200,000 plus single-use plastic bottles every single minute. Why you would drink this stuff is beyond me. Because it tastes good. Do that then. Just follow, oh, it tastes good, I'm going to do it. Cool. You'll probably pass away at age, 55 from obesity or diabetes or something. Like, Go ahead, live that life you want, but it's going to be a bad one. Brendan, are Zins that bad? I'm only having 2 to 3 per day when I want to dial in and focus. Yeah, I'm actually not a fan of Zins. Okay, let's really break it down. Let's really look at it. You're taking these Zins and your dopamine, your norepinephrine, your adrenaline is peaking up a little bit because yes, nicotine does do that. But is this really the nootropic that you'd want to go for as a young man? First of all, when you are getting any substance that's going to skyrocket your dopamine very quick, there is a drop off. There is a fall off. There's an addiction mechanism, obviously. That's why Zins are such a multi-billion dollar industry, just like other tobacco products are as well. Now, I understand nicotine and tobacco aren't the same thing. Oh, I'm just using the nicotine part. Okay, so you spike your dopamine, you spike your norepinephrine, you spike your adrenaline, you're studying, you're dialed in. Well, now you become reliant on this, okay? And we have seen studies showing nicotine proliferates oral cancer cells. So you can do this for a while, then you might go to the doctor someday with some mouth pain, you're at the dentist, your dentist's like, oh, wow, you have like an abscess there. It's really, damn, you should actually go see like an actual like specialist on this. Then you go to the specialist and you're like, oh, yeah, I have this. They're like, do you do like 2 to 3 Zins a day? You're like, yeah, I do. They're like, oh, damn, like you haven't seen like the lawsuits, like you haven't seen the research. You're like, no, I'm just focused. I'm dialed in. And they're like, oh, so like you have oral cancer. And you're like, what? Oh my God. Oh my, what happened? And then they're like, you have to remove part of your jaw. And you're like, what? So this can go down a really bad route. What I would do instead is take nootropics that have been around forever that you can use. Stuff like bacopa, stuff like ashwagandha, stuff like alpha GPC, stuff like acetyl L-carnitine, stuff like choline, stuff like lion's mane. This stuff is going to help you focus, and you're not running the risk of getting oral cancer. Also, we don't know what nicotine does to your gut microbiome, and it's not looking good. We probably will find out what these things actually do to you once we have more research on them, but think about it. Mixing nicotine with artificial sweeteners, with preservatives, and putting it into your mouth and swallowing that 2 to 3 times per day. Do you think that's a really good idea? Just like be real with yourself right now. Do you think in 10 to 15 years, how is this going to play out? How does this play out with every single thing big tobacco has gotten involved with? Oh, cigarettes are good. The doctors recommend cigarettes. They give you mental focus. How did that play out? Vaping. The vaping's not as bad. It's like a lighter version. How did that play out? Zins will be the next domino to fall. It's just the truth. Brendan, I've heard you recommend not eating chocolate in the evening because of the theobromine. It can be a bit stimulating. Do you recommend that with your chocolate protein as well? Yes. I'm not having the chocolate protein right before I go to bed. The latest I'll probably have it is like 6 p.m., something like that. If it's like a late night protein yogurt bowl, that's why you've probably seen me mostly go for the strawberry or vanilla in my protein yogurt bowls. This is because I'm not trying to consume theobromine, which is this compound from dark chocolate that can actually be somewhat stimulating, okay? So it's not like theobromine is going to have you wired like caffeine would or like insanely wired. You can get away with it here and there, but if it's like after 6 p.m., personally, I'm not having dark chocolate and I'm not having the chocolate protein because I'm trying to do everything I can to optimize my sleep. I track my sleep and I see my scores and I get to see how different compounds affect my sleep in different ways. I find my scores can get up into the 90s when I dial stuff in. They drop into the 80s when I'm, okay, and they can drop below the 80s when I make a mistake, like having a bunch of dark chocolate right before I go to bed. Okay, so think about this stuff. It's minor tweaks like that can help you. All right, guys, that is it for another AMA episode. Leave your questions below for next week and we will get to them. I love you guys so much. We have merch available at santacruzpaleo.com, like shirts for like $20. We got some cotton sweatshirts on there that I just launched. The Make America Healthy Again t-shirts are live. I'm wearing some dudes like jiu-jitsu t-shirt right now. I should probably be wearing ours, but whatever, dude. Protein is in stock right now. Go get some. Electrolytes are in stock with some amazing new flavors. If you haven't tried the prickly pear, I highly recommend it. Mango lemonade might become one of the best sellers. Honeydew melon, so good. If you wanted us to do watermelon, we're still working on the watermelon, but try honeydew melon for now. You might find that it satisfies some of that taste right there. The classics, lemon, lime, orange, are just so fire. So I really appreciate all the support, guys. We're just building and building this thing up, and we're actually making people healthier, and it's working. So I appreciate you guys so much. Leave your questions below. Like and subscribe. Love y'all. Talk to you soon. Peace.